Hello and a very warm welcome. Thank you, Komal, Pranavi, and Preeti for joining in. Uh, Today we are moving forward. अभी तक हमने कौन से level of उसके पढ़ा है? I think 250 was the last that we read. Frequency 250. That was of willingness.
Karishma, 310,
350.
310, willingness.
Willingness पढ़ी थी 310 पे. आज
Yes.
हमने पढ़नी है acceptance 350. Yes. So are you excited?
Yes.
Very.
So कोई बात नहीं, बहुत अच्छी बात है कि आप excited हो. Till now in chapter 2 we have traveled from lowest frequency states that are shame, guilt, fear, desire, anger, all the way up to courage and willingness. आज we are going to move into even higher territory of consciousness, that's starting from acceptance, reason, love. As on an average, I have seen we are reading three, these emotions every day, three frequencies every day. So I believe that is what we are going to read today as well. और अगर love भी हो जाएगा तो joy is the next one that we are going to read. ठीक है? So let me start sharing the screen so that I can read this to you and we can discuss it further. Energy level 350, acceptance. At this level of awareness, a major transformation takes place with the understanding that one is the source and creator of the experience of one's life, oneself. Taking such responsibility is distinctive of this degree of evolution, characterized by the capacity to live harmoniously with the forces of life. All people at levels below 200 tend to be powerless and see themselves as victims at the mercy of life. This stems from a belief that the source of one's happiness or the cause of one's problem is out there. An enormous jump taking back one's own power is completed at this level, with the realization that the source of happiness is within oneself. At this more evolved stage, nothing so-called out there has the capacity to make one happy. And love is not something given or taken away by another, but created from within. Acceptance is not to be confused with passivity, which is a symptom of apathy. This form of acceptance allows engagement in life on life's own terms, without trying to make it conform to an agenda. With acceptance, there is emotional calm and perception is widened as denial is transcended. One now sees things without distortion or misinterpretation. The context of experience is expanded so that one is capable of seeing the whole picture. Acceptance has to do essentially with balance, proportion, and appropriateness. The individual at the level of acceptance is not interested in determining right or wrong, but instead is dedicated to resolving issues and finding out what to do about problems. Tough jobs do not cause discomfort or dismay. Long-term goals take precedence over short-term ones. Self-discipline and mastery are prominent. At the level of acceptance, we are not polarized by conflict or opposition. We see that other people have the same right as we do and we honor equality. While lower levels are characterized by rigidity, at this level, social plurality begins to emerge as a form of resolution of problems. Therefore, this level is free of discrimination or intolerance. There is the awareness that equality does not preclude diversity. Acceptance includes rather than rejects. What do you understand by what we have read?
कि सबके इक्वल राइट्स हैं, जो जैसा है उसको वैसे ही एक्सेप्ट करो, है ना, इंस्टेड ऑफ लाइक बीइंग जजमेंटल, just because everybody has equal rights and जो पहले हम देखते थे कि जो हैप्पीनेस मुझे दूसरों से मिलेगा, अब हमें देखना हैप्पीनेस या पीस वो हमारे अंदर ही है।
Yes. Good. That's good pickup. Thanks, Preeti, for sharing. Komal, you also wanted to share something?
At this level, we honor equality, and there is no discrimination. So basically, वो bias नहीं हम होते and non-judgmental. And we believe that everybody has equal rights to express.
Yes. Wonderful. Good. What about you, Pranavi?
It's like at this particular energy level, we stop blaming the outer world. We take that responsibility, and in that responsibility, you'll be very clear ki what is the thing I'm supposed to do, rather than thinking that why this happens to me and who is responsible for this. We start thinking that that's absolutely okay. I'll accept it and I'll try to work on the solution.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love that. Thank you, everyone, for picking up good points in there. And I was actually waiting for this one. The acceptance is where victim mindset ends. Below 200, people believe my life happens because of others. At acceptance, a person realizes I am responsible for my life experiences. And trust me, this is a huge spiritual shift. Below 200, external locus of control is there. Above 350, internal locus of control. मतलब कि you stop blaming life and you start creating your life. एक वर्ड यूज हुआ था इसके अंदर, पैसिविटी, जिसका मतलब होता है डूइंग नथिंग एंड गिविंग अप. एक्सेप्टेंस जो है इज नॉट गिविंग अप. एक्सेप्टेंस मीन्स लेट मी अंडरस्टैंड रियलिटी एंड रिस्पॉन्ड वाइजली. जब आप एक्सेप्टेंस में होते हो, इट क्रिएट्स इमोशनल काम. It creates wider perception, creates clarity. You start looking at everyone as equal and you begin to see the bigger picture of life. So today in the morning, I was talking to a friend about this book, what we are reading, and she has already read this, so we were discussing about it, and she made me realize कि तुमने देखा है कि how the chart that has been shared in the group as well, there are color codes to it, right? जो ये color codes है ना, these are also chakras.
Okay.
And acceptance जो है, आप देखोगे जो सबसे नीचे है red is the color of root chakra. ठीक है, ऐसे जैसे जैसे ऊपर चलते जाओगे, ये जो हमारे 7 चक्रास होते हैं, 7 कलर्स हैं उसके. एंड एक्सेप्टेंस जो है ना, it aligns strongly with the heart chakra. Why? Because this is where forgiveness begins. This is where responsibility also begins. This is where compassion begins. क्योंकि हार्ट चक्रा जब ओपन होता है, ब्लेम्स स्टार्ट डिसॉल्विंग. एक जो विक्टिम माइंडसेट है, दैट विल से कि माय हस्बैंड, माय पेरेंट्स, माय पास्ट रूइंड माय लाइफ. वहीं एक्सेप्टेंस सेज this is my life, I will grow from here, whatever it is, howsoever it is, but this is the life, this is my life and I will grow from here, जैसे मर्जी करूं. And that shift changes everything. क्योंकि जब तक हम वो एक्सेप्टेंस में नहीं आएंगे, तब तक कहीं ना कहीं क्रिबिंग, क्राइंग, विक्टिमहुड में बैठे रहेंगे. गुड. गुड इवनिंग Madhulika, thank you for joining in. Anybody wants to share anything before we move on to the next one? चलो नेक्स्ट पे चलते हैं. And we were also actually discussing कि every जो हमारी जोन जोन से भी ये stages हैं, the energy levels, है ना. जिस भी एनर्जी लेवल पे चले जाओ, उसके कुछ ना कुछ प्रॉस हैं, कुछ ना कुछ कॉन्स भी हैं. I'll share the picture of that as well. वो कहते हैं 7 sins and 7 goods, something like that. It is there. I'll share that in the group as well. So you will know कि oh wow, कि when you are in a really a higher state, there are big chances that you will stop taking actions, you will stop working, you will be just So there are always pros and cons. Shadow always runs with us. It always walks with us till we are alive. Chalo. Next is energy level 400, reason. Intelligence and rationality rise to the forefront when the emotionalism of the lower levels is transcended. Reason is capable of handling large, complex amounts of data and making rapid, correct decisions, of understanding the intricacies of relationships, gradations, and fine distinctions, and expert manipulation of symbols as abstract concepts becomes increasingly important. This is the level of science, medicine, and generally increased capability of conceptualization and comprehension. Knowledge and education. एक सेकंड, आपको कोई पीछे से आवाज आ रही है क्या?
नहीं.
Okay, good. Knowledge and education are sought as capital. Understanding and information are the main tools of accomplishment, which is the hallmark of the level 400. This is the level of Nobel Prize winners, great statesmen, and Supreme Court justices. Einstein, Freud, and many of the other great thinkers of history also calibrate here. The authors of the great books of the Western world calibrate here. The shortcomings of this level are the failure of clearly distinguish the difference between symbols and what they represent, and confusion between the objective and subjective worlds that limit the understanding of the casualty. At this level, it is easy to lose sight of the forest of the trees, to become infatuated with the concepts and theories, ending up in the intellectualism and missing the essential point. Intellectualizing can become an end to itself, in itself. Reason is limited in that it does not afford the capacity for the discretion and discernment of essence or of the critical point of complex issues. And it generally disregards context. Reason does not in and of itself provide the guide of truth. It produces massive amount of information and documentation. but lacks the capacity to resolve discrepancies in data and conclusions. All philosophic arguments sound convincing on their own, although reason is highly effective in the technical world where the methodologies of logic dominate. Reason itself, paradoxically, is the major block to reaching higher levels of consciousness. Transcending this level is relatively uncommon by only 4% of world's population. Ooh, reasons. एक सेकेंड होल्ड करो यार, आपको आवाज नहीं आ रही, मेरे को आ रही है and it is disturbing. एक मिनट होल्ड करना. All right. Thank you so much for waiting. All right, now let's understand. क्या समझे बताओ.
This is like really high level of knowledge and all the data, medicines, like all the authors come from this level. And yeah, just 4% of the population of the world are from here. Yeah, it's quite high energy level. Yeah, and it gives lots of reasoning and explanations and all the data goes there.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. What about you, Komal? What did you understand here? What is that you caught in there?
It's a level of Nobel Prize winners and Supreme Court judges. So definitely काफी मतलब इंटेलेक्चुअल लेवल है ये, बट एट द सेम टाइम इसमें कुछ लिमिटेशन भी लिखा है इस लेवल का. आई थिंक इफ आई गॉट इट राइट दैट पीपल आर यूजुअली not able to go beyond this level.
It is difficult to go beyond this level, yes.
That's what I got after reading this.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And what about you, Pranavi? What did you understand?
It's like what I felt was at this particular energy level, usually the person is beyond his emotions, that is, fear, anger, and all the negative traits. When he's beyond all these emotions, I mean, generally we as normal persons, we usually have this fear, anger, and so many emotions. But these people, I don't know, that's what I felt it actually, but these people, they're beyond their emotions. Once you're beyond that, the real logic, the real rational thinking starts coming up. So they're much stable than the normal people, and hence they are able to connect to the higher consciousness, and that will bring them to think, that will bring them to reach their goals, and they're the higher thinkers. I mean, they're great thinkers, and they execute things at a different level, which the normal persons cannot do because they're attached to their emotions. Once you are with your emotions, it's really tough to have a clarity on the, your goal, or the solving, or the process of reaching a goal, or something like that.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Pranavi. And Madhulika, do we have you with us? Okay, so what happens here? This is a level of intelligence and high logic. The mind becomes extremely powerful. People at this level analyze, they understand systems, they think logically, they study very deeply. And as you all also got it, this is a level of scientists, philosophers, great thinkers, Einstein, Freudian philosophy, and all of that has come from there. Okay. Understanding abstract ideas is something. For example, maths, physics की theories and all, they understand well. But there is a limitation of reason. And this book says something very beautiful here, that is, कि reason can understand data, but it cannot understand truthfully. Why? Because truth is experiential. It is not intellectual. So just like Pranavi said, कि अब ट्रूथ हमारे को एक्सपीरियंस करने के लिए इमोशंस भी चाहिए होंगे टू एक्सपीरियंस इट, एंड इन लोगों के पास उस चीज की कमी होती है. अगर सिंपल सा एग्जांपल सोचा जाए इसके बारे में, तो वही आज सुबह जो बात हो रही थी, तो शी वाज शेयरिंग विद मी कि you can study love scientifically, but that does not mean that you experience love. And that is why reason cannot reach the highest states. आप साइंटिफिकली लव को स्टडी कर सकते हो, पर उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आपने एक्सपीरियंस कर लिया लव. And that is where these people lack. And as I was talking about chakras, ये वाला जो है, it comes at the third eye chakra, the अंजना, जहाँ पे intelligence, insight, perception sits there. This third eye chakra represents that. But still, it is mind-based. Higher states require heart consciousness, जो मेरे ख्याल से love में है. Anybody wants to share anything? आगे बढ़े. हाँ जी, please. चलो. Next is energy level 500. That is love. Love, as depicted in the mass media, is not what this level implies. On the contrary, what the world generally refers to as love is an intense emotionality combining physical attraction, possessiveness, control, addiction, eroticism, and novelty. It is usually evanescent and fluctuating, waxing and waning, with varying conditions. When frustrated, this emotion often reveals an underlying anger and dependency that it has masked. That love can turn to hate is a common concept. But what is being spoken about rather than love is an addicted sentimentality and attachment. Hate stems from pride, not love. There probably never was actual love in such a relationship. Oh. The 500 level is characterized by the development of a love that is unconditional, unchanging, and permanent. It does not fluctuate because its source within the person who loves is not dependent on external conditions. Loving is a state of being. It is a way of relating to the world that is forgiving, nurturing, and supportive. Love is not intellectual and does not proceed from the mind. Love emanates from the heart. It has the capacity to lift others and accomplish great feats because of its purity of motive. As this level of development, The capacity to discern essence becomes predominant. The core of an issue becomes the center of the focus. As reason is bypassed, there arises the capacity for instantaneous recognition of the totality of the problem and a major expansion of context, especially regarding time and process. Reason deals with only with particulars, whereas love deals with wholes. This ability, often ascribed to intuition, is the capacity for instantaneous understanding without resorting to sequential symbols processing. This phenomenon may sound abstract, but is in fact quite concrete. It is accompanied by a measurable release of endorphins in the brain. Love takes no position and thus is global, rising above the separation of positionality. It is then possible to be one with another, as there are no longer any barriers. Love is therefore inclusive and expands the sense of self progressively. Love focuses on the goodness of life in all its expressions and arguments that which is positive. It dissolves negativity by recontextualizing it rather than by attacking it. This is the level of true happiness, but although the world is fascinated by the subject of love, and all viable religions calibrate at 500 or over, it is interesting to note that only 4% of the world's population ever reaches this level of evolution of consciousness. Only 0.4% ever reaches the level of unconditional love at 540. Whoa. Wow. That would be really, really a big space to be in, really high consciousness. Okay. What do you understand? Yes, let's hear it from you. Preeti, let's go first.
Yeah, it is quite high level of energy. It can start with like physical looks, but sometimes it gets like addiction or control, possessiveness. But actually, real what they are talking about, that is, they are talking about like unconditional love. It doesn't depend on any situations or anything, and it means you are always there for the person, whatever happens. It doesn't depend on like how they behave. And it dissolves all the negativity, and you are very nurturing and supportive at this level.
It is not related to only one person. It is for everything that has been created.
Yes, yeah.
That is the beauty of it. Okay, thank you, Preeti, for sharing that. Komal, do you want to share something on that?
You are at this energy level, then you don't think from logical mind. And only 0.4% population, reaches there. And the love is unconditional. That's it.
Wonderful.
I have no expectations, I guess, at this level.
But how about if we have a channel through which we can actually reach there? Yeah. Thank you, Komal, for sharing that. Pranavi, would you like to share your thoughts on that?
Yeah, in short, it's like the love which we are undergoing as normal human beings. It all depends upon the circumstances. circumstances. If the circumstances are good, the love is strong. If the circumstances are worst, the love is low or meek. And it keeps on fluctuating here and there. At the end of the day, he had decided that it's all fake. So when you really enter at this particular vibratory level, then that love is totally different. That is unconditional, and you emit love right from your heart away. I mean, you start giving yourself, and you will become unconditional irrespective of the situations, irrespective of the people. You emit love just in that way. That's what I understood.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Pranavi, for sharing that. Madhulika, do we have you with us? Okay, so this love reminds me of this situation. I'll tell you. Have you ever felt that you are feeling love even in the air? You look at the tree, even if it is windy, you feel, oh, this is so sweet and pretty. The trees are dancing in joy. You see,
It can be felt only in the morning hours, Karishma. Later they don't know, and I don't feel.
see, so maybe at some point in time, for even if it is for fraction of seconds, कहीं ना कहीं हमने इस चीज को कभी ना कभी फील किया होगा. कोई बच्चा सड़क पे भागता हुआ जा रहा है, वैसे नॉर्मली स्पीकिंग यू विल से कि यार अपने बच्चे का ख्याल नहीं रख सकते हैं, इतने बच्चे पैदा कर देते हैं ये लोग भिखारी, है ना. But sometimes you will look at them and you will look at the shine in their eyes and the brightness in their smile and the way they are so happy, and you feel, wow, what a beauty. जब क्रिएटर की बनाई हर चीज के ऊपर प्यार आना शुरू हो जाए, वो जूते पहनना हो, वो भिखारी हो, वो फूल हो, वो कांटे हो, वो लड़ाई हो, वो प्यार हो, वो झगड़ा हो, विदाउट एनी फिल्टर्स. कोई आपके ऊपर कूड़ा भी फेंक दे तो आपको लगे क्या. दैट इज वेयर unconditional love lies. Why? Because you see divine in every speck, every molecule, and you have no choice but love it. You do not even have your heart in your control, and you love it. Yes, you all were right that yes, he, the love that we feel is not the real love. It is full of attachments, dependency, attraction, possession, and at least from reading, we understood that love is unconditional. हम आज तक बोलते थे लव अनकंडीशनल होता है, बट अनकंडीशनल तो कुछ होता ही नहीं है. बट आज हम ये समझ पा रहे हैं कि अनकंडीशनल होता है, पर वो हम अचीव नहीं कर पाते. एंड ये जो लव एट 500 है ना, इट इज नॉट एन इमोशन, it is a state of being. This is what it is said in the chapter as well. It is a state of being, and this is a very powerful thing, because when it is a state of being, it will remain stable no matter what. You will be nurturing no matter what. You will be forgiving की in fact बात ही नहीं आने वाली है. You will be compassionate no matter what. And there is a very powerful line that we read together in this was, love does not come from mind. Love comes from the heart. इस लेवल पे जाके ना यू स्टार्ट सीइंग द होल पिक्चर ऑफ लाइफ. आपको तब, अभी जो आपको लगता है कि यहाँ पे सनशाइन है और यहाँ पर शेड है, उस टाइम पे आपको रेज ऑफ सन सिंगुलर नहीं दिखेंगी. यू विल अंडरस्टैंड इट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द सोर्स, द होल जो चीज है. रीजन जो होगा वो रेस को चेक करेगा. लव की स्पेस में जाकर यू सी द होल. यू विल नॉट सी ड्रॉप्स ऑफ वाटर, यू विल सी द ओशन. You will understand that we all are part of one divine. There is no distinction between any of us. That is why it is wholeness, it is oneness there. आपका ब्रेन नेचुरली एंडोर्फिन जो केमिकल होता है, हैप्पीनेस केमिकल इन द ब्रेन, इट विल कीप रिलीजिंग इट. You will experience deep love and compassion, and this chemical will just keep increasing only. तो मतलब कि जब जब एंडोर्फिन की बात आती है तो दैट मीन्स कि ये सिर्फ स्पिरिचुअली नहीं है, दिस इज बायोलॉजिकल एज वेल. ठीक है. दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी हाई स्टेट एंड इट इज, जो मैं बोल भी रही हूँ, आई हैव नॉट एक्सपीरियंस्ड इट फॉर श्योर. आई हैव रेड इट इन बुक्स. द सूफी सेंट्स लाइक रूमी or there is Bulle Shah, they have felt it. They have given in their scriptures, in their stories, they have talked about it. And if you get a chance to read such kind of scriptures or stories, read about it and you will understand कि, oh wow, it is beyond our even thoughts. हम नहीं कर सकते प्यार, but क्यों नहीं. Yes, we have Madhunika.
Yeah, no, very quickly, I think Mother Teresa is one of the example.
I agree.
And let's not forget that this is 500 level. It is not arithmetic. It is logarithmic. 100 raised to the power 500. It is going.
Yes. और अभी 1000 पे जाके क्या होगा, मुझे तो यही नहीं समझ में आ रहा. मेरा तो दिमाग एकदम आउट हो चुका है ऑलरेडी. 1000 पे क्या होने वाला है रियली.
ध्यान में चले जाएंगे.
हमें, इफ लव इज सो इंटेंस, इफ लव इज सो होलसम, अभी तो 500 पे पहुंचे, अभी तो 1000 पे जाना है, हाफ वे. आगे पढ़ना है कि यहाँ पे स्टॉप करना है.
It's up to others. What is next?
नेक्स्ट इज जॉय. अच्छा पहले ये बताओ, डू यू वांट टू शेयर एनीथिंग ऑन दिस टॉपिक हियर? Do you want to speak something? You want to share some story that you might have learned or heard as a child, or maybe somewhere?
So that reminds me of the story we have read in Gaur Gopal Das book. You remember that there was a story when Gaur Gopal Das kicked the bucket. And the other saint said that the way you are treating this bucket, the same way you're going to treat people. You're not valuing this, that is why you are kicking it away. है ना, उन्होंने उनकी बकेट उठा के दूर, मतलब हाथ से धक्का दे दिया था अपनी भरने के लिए.
Yes.
So because it is not about bucket, it is about you, how you are treating things. गुस्सा आता है, we throw away things.
अरे नहीं यार, उसका तो और ही लेवल हाई है लव का, दैट इज कि तब तो आपको बकेट में भी प्यार होगा कि कितनी प्यारी है, इसके अंदर तो मेरा पानी भरती है ये, क्या
एग्जैक्टली,
बात
दैट्स
है।
व्हाट इट इज। या वही कि जिस तरीके से आप एक लिविंग बीइंग हो, नॉन लिविंग बीइंग हो, इट इज नॉट अबाउट दैट थिंग, इट इज अबाउट यू, दैट what emotion and what feeling and from which space you are operating.
यस, एंड लव इज इट्स सेड, जैसे हम कहते हैं ना, ग्रेटिट्यूड इज अ वे ऑफ लाइफ, लाइकवाइज लव इज बीइंग, बीइंग, बीइंग में उतरना से ये होगा। We talk of very small stuff, bro. This is big. Hmm. Hmm.
क्या लगता है गौर गोपाल दास किस लेवल पे जी रहे होंगे?
Who are we to judge? Seriously.
No, it's not being judgmental. No, it's being
Or Gopal Das would be living at the level of
ecstasy,
joy.
joy. The last level is enlightenment.
Yes. No, I don't think. I believe he lives in joy. Because he is doing, he is working, he is doing karma. जो आप उस लेवल पे चले जाओगे, आप पता नहीं कुछ नहीं करोगे, आप सिर्फ मेडिटेशन करोगे, आपको खाना भी अपने आप मिलता रहेगा, आई थिंक, आई बिलीव। वो कहा जाता है ना कि आप घर में बैठो, भक्ति करो, खाना अपने आप आपके पास चल के आएगा, वो वाली स्टेट हो जाती होगी।
बनाना नहीं पड़ेगा।
प्रीति is like, ये वाली स्टेट चाहिए।
वो you know the best thing over here is, वो एक बड़ी अच्छी कहावत है, तेली को तेल की, मुसद्दी को खल की। उसको खाना बनाने
खाना
की पड़ी
खाना नहीं बनाना पड़ेगा, बहुत बढ़िया बात बोली है ये। यस। And so my brother-in-law used to keep on saying this to my sister-in-law, and मेरी जो भाभी है वो हर बार ये आर्ग्यू करती थी, ऐसे थोड़ी तो होता है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता, काम तो करना ही पड़ता है। एंड देन ही वाज लाइक, तू जाके देख गुरुद्वारे में, खाना बना बनाया मिलता है, कुछ नहीं करना पड़ता। तो खाना नहीं बनाना, गुरुद्वारे जाओ, अपने घर वालों को भी साथ लेके जाओ, प्रीति। चलो जॉय की
हाँ,
तरफ
फिर
चले।
वो या डेफिनेटली फिर वो खाना शरीर के लिए होगा, जबान के लिए नहीं होगा,
एब्सोल्युटली।
वो आत्मा के लिए होगा।
एंड आत्मा को खाना नहीं चाहिए, आत्मा डज नॉट नीड खाना।
बॉडी को चाहिए खाना तो।
खाना सिर्फ बॉडी को चाहिए टू सर्वाइव।
को चाहिए।
एंड एट दैट स्टेज आई नो पीपल हु हैव नॉट ईटन फॉर इयर्स टुगेदर।
जो कहते हैं ध्यान में चले जाते हैं तो तुम्हें उसकी भी जरूरत नहीं है, वो हवा या उससे ही जीते रहते हैं।
हाँ।
तुम्हें खाने की भी जरूरत नहीं है।
यस। आज लव में रहना है कि जॉय की तरफ बढ़ना है, ये बता दो बस।
ऐसे तो नहीं करिश्मा।
हाँ
ये
जी।
इमोशंस तो हो गए आज का।
आज के तो 3 इमोशंस होते हैं, कल करें इसके आगे।
हाँ, स्टार्ट फ्रॉम टुडे।
चलो ठीक है। All right then, take good care of yourself. God bless each one of you. I really wish that each one of us can experience this kind of love at some point in time, even if it is for just a few fractions of seconds. That would be great. I'm excited about it. I want to feel it. Oh, actually, it is not an emotion only. It is the state of being. Anyway,
करिश्मा, ज्यादातर आई मीन लाइक अनकंडीशनल लव इज associated with mother's love.
that is not even, that is not
That is
unconditional.
not even this.
That is not even unconditional, वो भी नहीं है. That is not unconditional. कई एग्जांपल्स
छोटे
मिल
बच्चे
जाएंगे.
के साथ होता है ना, जब जब बेबी छोटा होता है, देन मे बी
You
योर
really
दिस।
think so? There are so many mothers who leave their child on the road. मेरे को चाहिए नहीं है बच्चा.
हाँ, उनके
बट
साथ
वो
नहीं होता।
अदर है ना, बट वो
नहीं,
दैट इज अनदर।
नहीं होता.
हाँ, तो उनको नहीं होता होगा लव, बट यू नो वेन एवर यू लव योर चाइल्ड, when the child is small, maybe, you know, देखो, Indian society is
This
different.
level of love, Madhulika, not is not about इसको प्यार करती हूँ और इसको नहीं करती. इससे प्यार है और इससे गुस्सा है. It is about loving every being because you are the loving being. Because you see divinity in every being. जिससे hatred भी थी उससे पे भी प्यार आना शुरू हो जाए. That is this level. सिर्फ एक से नहीं प्यार होगा. And that is अगर if
That
that is.
yeah, that no, that's you are true over there. ये तो बात है कि it's not about किससे है किससे नहीं है, it's about you are the source of love. तो वो तो सब जगह निकल रहा है. Sun is the source of light, तो सब जगह लाइट
सब
जा रही
जगह लग जा रही है.
है ना. सन ये नहीं कर सकता इधर दूंगा और इधर नहीं दूंगा.
हम्म.
My point is, when we say unconditional love, we associate it with, not with husband wife, not with brother sister siblings. We associate it with, at times, with mother and, you know, child, जब बच्चा छोटा होता है. But Indian society ऐसी है that we also raise our child, that you know, people raise their son, that कि हाँ हमें इसके साथ रहना है, बुढ़ापे का सहारा and all that stuff. अगर हम उसको भी एक बार नजरअंदाज कर दें, what if the child, the mom knows that the child is disabled, then can we say that it is unconditional? When the child is just like a, you know, the mom knows that child will never be able to walk and talk,
That is the case. That might
then
be.
is it unconditional? Still the
तब
mother
भी
loves.
तब भी mother loves the child because that she has the child. मतलब कि
Exactly.
तभी भी मदर को उस बच्चे से इसलिए प्यार है क्योंकि her need of being a mother is being satisfied.
मे बी उसके दो बच्चे और हों जो बिल्कुल ठीक हो. मदरली होने की नीड तो उसकी उनसे भी सेटिस्फाई हो रही है.
So my mami ji,
हम्म.
she had 3 kids.
हम्म.
ठीक है. एक डॉटर, 2 sons. थर्ड सन बिकॉज ऑफ some medical issues उसकी जो अम्बिकल कॉर्ड थी वो ओपन रह गई एंड ब्लड बहुत सारा निकल गया बिकॉज ऑफ विच ही वॉज मेंटली दिस थिंग. ठीक है. अनस्टेबल. आप अपने सब बच्चों से इक्वली प्यार करते हो कि अलग अलग प्यार करते हो?
प्यार तो सबसे
इक्वली।
बराबर ही होता है. कहीं सिंपथी ज्यादा होती है किसी के साथ में. प्यार तो बराबर ही होता है बच्चों से, बट सिंपथी होती है कभी कभी ना. कई बार ऐसा होता है एक बच्चा पढ़ लिख के बहुत अच्छा हो जाता है और एक बेचारा स्ट्रगल ही कर रहा होता है, तो उसके साथ में सिंपथी होती है माँ की.
फिर वो अनकंडीशनल कैसे हुआ?
Unconditional in the sense that it's not a relationship of give and take. You know, you have to only give. You have to serve only.
फिर आपको गुस्सा भी तो कई बार आ ही जाता है उस बच्चे पे भी. अनकंडीशनल लव में तो आपको गुस्सा भी नहीं आएगा, आपको सिर्फ प्यार आएगा. और आई हैव सीन हर, शी हैज इमेंसली लव्ड हर थर्ड चाइल्ड. नो क्वेश्चंस आस्क्ड. But does that mean she was never frustrated with him?
No, 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 no. It's not about that, Karishma. Isn't it? You said ki you were you were hoping that, I hope that each one of us may feel this even for a single moment. Yeah. It's not ki हमेशा ही रहे, 24/7 रहे. That is a nirvana state. That is what ecstasy is.
Hmm.
You know, even for a fraction of minute, if we can feel that, isn't it that I mean, like that, yes, we have experienced that thing.
एक्सपीरियंस तो मैंने अभी जब हमने ये स्टार्ट किया था टॉपिक, तभी भी मैंने बोला था कहीं ना कुछ सेकंड के लिए शायद हमने एक्सपीरियंस किया भी होगा, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं किसी एक स्पिरिचुअल लेवल को हर कोई कभी ना कभी टच करता है, wherein they feel that love, they feel the love in everything at that in that moment. बट चलो मान लेते हैं यार, होता होगा मुझे नहीं पता, I don't know. I've never even given it a thought, and I've always believed that there is no unconditional. कहीं ना कहीं से कुछ ना कुछ वो हो जाता है. It is only the state of being. You cannot have unconditional love with anyone. That is how I feel, and maybe that is how I am right.
करिश्मा, जैसे जो मैं आपके साथ केस डिस्कस कर रही थी, एक मदर है जिनका बेटा बार बार रिहैब में जाता है, वापस आता है, जाता है, आता है.
Let me stop the recording, and then we can discuss this one. So thank you so much for joining in. God bless you once again, and see you tomorrow at 10 p.m. and we will start with joy. All right? Mwah! Lots of love to each one of you.